There was fire everywhere, flames were spreading fast, smoke covered the sky, and there was almost no way out. People were running in every direction trying to escape with their lives. In the middle of this chaos, one man named Kevin was trying to save a bus full of children from this deadly fire. But the question is, will Kevin succeed in saving them? Let's jump into the story and find out. The film begins in November 2018. We are introduced to Kevin, the main character of this story. Kevin works as a school bus driver, and his life is far from easy. His salary is very low, and surviving day by day is already a struggle for him. At home, Kevin lives with his mother and his young son, but his son doesn't really listen to him. Kevin keeps telling him to go to school and behave properly, yet the boy ignores him most of the time. Kevin feels confused and doesn't know how to handle him. On top of that, Kevin also has a dog, and unfortunately, the dog is sick. So he takes the dog to the hospital, thinking to himself that when problems come, they seem to come from every direction at once. Even though life is tough, Kevin doesn't lose hope. The next day, he goes back to work as usual. He picks up the children and drives them to school like every normal day. But this story takes place in a city called Paradise, California, a place known for its dry and hot weather. On the nearby mountains, large electric poles and power lines run through the forest. Suddenly, something dangerous happens. A short circuit occurs in one of the electric wires. Sparks fall down onto the dry grass below, and because the weather has been extremely dry for a long time, the grass catches fire almost instantly. Within moments, the fire starts spreading rapidly toward the forest, and right next to that forest is the entire city of Paradise. The people living there have no idea that a disaster is heading straight toward them. Meanwhile, Kevin finishes dropping the children at school. After that, he is supposed to take the bus to the garage for repairs, but by this time, the fire in the forest has already started growing bigger. Some police officers notice the fire and immediately inform the fire brigade. Firefighters rush to the scene, but they quickly realize something serious. The fire started high up on the mountain, making it extremely difficult to reach. Still, they don't give up. They try to climb the mountain from another route, but unfortunately, some workers in that area get trapped in the fire. At the same time, Kevin is driving the empty school bus toward the garage. He still has no idea about the fire spreading nearby. Then suddenly, he receives a phone call from his mother. She tells him that his son is vomiting badly and needs medicine quickly. Kevin immediately gets worried and says that there's no need to panic. Since he already has the bus, he'll stop by a medical store and bring medicine on the way home. So instead of going to the garage, Kevin changes his plan and heads straight to the medical store. Because right now, saving his son feels more important. But by now, the smoke from the fire is clearly visible across the city. People begin to realize that the wind is blowing toward the town, which means the fire could reach the city very soon. Police officers gather together and start investigating how the fire started. Wildfires are not unusual in the forests of America, but the speed at which this fire is spreading is definitely not normal. Normally, small fires are controlled quickly, but this time the fire is already getting out of control. Soon they discover that power lines were installed in the area. When sparks fell, the wind was extremely strong, yet the electricity had not been shut down. Because of this mistake, the fire started spreading rapidly. After some time, workers from the electricity department arrive. The firefighters become angry and question them, saying they should have turned off the power earlier since the winds were so strong. After this discussion, the electricity in the entire area is finally shut down to prevent more incidents. Meanwhile, we see an FBI officer who is also stuck near the fire. Some houses near the forest have already caught fire, and people inside them need help. So the officer risks his own life and starts rescuing residents. He loads several people into his car and drives them away from the burning area. At this point, firefighters realize something terrifying. The fire has already spread across nearly 5 kilometers. Back on the road, Kevin receives a call from his boss. She asks him to bring the bus quickly if the repairs are done because the children will be leaving school early today. But Kevin never even took the bus to the garage. He is still heading home with medicine for his son. Meanwhile, firefighters realize that their trucks cannot reach many parts of the burning forest. so they bring in helicopters and water aircraft. These aircraft collect water and drop it over the forest to control the flames. But this fire is extremely powerful, and controlling it is becoming nearly impossible. More helicopters are requested, because fighting this fire from the ground alone will not work. At the same time, the FBI officer who was rescuing people suddenly finds himself surrounded by flames. He realizes there is no escape route left. So he tells everyone to jump into a nearby pond to save their lives. Back on the road, Kevin finally notices something unusual. Many fire brigade vehicles are rushing past him toward the forest. He quickly calls his son and tells him something important. No matter what happens, don't leave the house. I'll be there soon. Meanwhile, inside the school, children begin noticing smoke outside the windows. They realize something is wrong. A teacher named Mary gathers all the children together and tells them to stay calm. Many parents rush to the school to pick up their children, worried that something terrible might happen. But not all parents manage to reach in time. There are still 22 children left at the school. Then an announcement is made to all bus drivers. If any bus is empty, they must come to the school immediately and evacuate the remaining children. But surprisingly, no driver responds. Except one. Kevin. He answers the call and says that he will reach the school very soon and rescue the children. Without wasting any time, Kevin turns the bus around and drives straight toward the school. His mission now is clear. He must take the children to a safe place called Chico. Soon, Kevin reaches the school and boards all 22 children onto the bus. Teacher Mary also joins them and tells Kevin to drive the children to Chico, where a safe evacuation area has been prepared. Kevin agrees, but he says he cannot do this alone. Someone must go with him. Mary immediately volunteers, so now Kevin and Mary leave together with the children. As Kevin drives toward the highway, the bus suddenly gets stuck in a massive traffic jam. Everyone in the city is trying to escape at the same time. Cars are packed everywhere, and the road is completely blocked. Time passes, and it starts getting dark. Kevin realizes that if they stay here, they might never escape. So he asks Mary to sit in the driver's seat and slowly move the bus backward while he gets out and clears the road. Kevin walks ahead, telling drivers that there are children on the bus and begging them to make space. After a lot of effort, people finally move their cars. And slowly, Kevin manages to get the bus out of the traffic jam. But what he sees next is terrifying. Houses are burning everywhere, flames are surrounding the road, and thick smoke is making it almost impossible to see. Mary tells Kevin that they cannot stop now. They must reach the safe area. So Kevin continues driving. The children are scared, sweating, and feeling the intense heat from the fire. But Mary does her best to calm them down. Meanwhile, at the evacuation campsite in Chico, tents are set up for injured people and evacuees. All buses are supposed to arrive there with children, but so far, none have arrived yet. And parents are becoming more and more worried. Inside the burning roads, Kevin can barely see anything ahead. Still, he keeps driving forward with determination. The children start asking for water, but there is almost none available. So Kevin stops the bus at a slightly safer area. Mary decides to check nearby houses to see if she can find water. She enters a house near a fuel station and starts collecting water bottles. But suddenly, the fuel station explodes. Mary screams in fear, but thankfully she manages to grab enough water and return to the bus. The children drink the water, finally feeling a bit relieved, but the fire keeps spreading even further. Kevin continues driving, unsure of where the road will lead. Everything ahead is covered in darkness and smoke. Back at the camp, Kevin's boss tries to calm the parents, telling them that a good driver named Kevin and a teacher named Mary are with the children, and they will bring them safely. Suddenly, Kevin encounters some people running on the road. They warn him not to go forward because the road ahead is blocked by fire. They tell him to abandon the bus and run on foot. But Kevin refuses. He cannot leave 22 children behind. Instead, he checks the road ahead himself, only to discover something terrifying. There is fire everywhere, in front of them and behind them. They are completely surrounded. So Kevin decides to stop the bus and wait for the fire to calm down a little. Inside the bus, children start crying. Mary tries to comfort them. Then Kevin gets an idea. He tears his t-shirt into pieces, soaks the cloth in water, and gives them to the children to cover their noses and mouths, protecting them from the toxic smoke. At the same time, the authorities realize that this wildfire is too large to control. It has spread across a massive area, and extinguishing it completely is impossible right now. So they make one decision: focus on saving lives. Meanwhile, Kevin and Mary start talking to each other, sharing their worries. Deep down, both of them feel that this might be their last moment. But suddenly, the fire gets even closer. Kevin steps out of the bus and tries to control the flames nearby, but the strong winds make it impossible. At that moment, Kevin realizes something. No one is coming to rescue them. So he makes a bold decision. No matter what happens, he will drive through the fire. He gets back into the bus and tries to start it. At first, the engine doesn't respond, but Kevin keeps trying again and again. Finally, the bus starts. Now begins the most dangerous moment of their journey. Kevin drives the bus straight through the burning road. If a burning tree falls, or if the bus catches fire, there will be no way to save the children. The doors and windows are closed tightly to block the smoke. Even though visibility is almost zero, Kevin keeps driving forward. And after a long and terrifying drive, they finally reach an area where the fire has not spread yet. They are safe. Kevin then drives the bus to the evacuation campsite. Parents who were waiting anxiously suddenly see the bus arriving. At that moment, they realize something incredible. Their children are alive. Parents rush forward, hugging their kids and thanking Kevin and Mary again and again. They risked their lives to save everyone. Later, Kevin goes into the camp to find his own family. There he meets his mother and asks about his son. She tells him that his wife has already taken the child with her. After a few days, the wildfire is finally brought under control, but the damage left behind is heartbreaking. Kevin returns to where his house once stood, now completely burned down. He looks at the remains and the memories of his family, then suddenly, a car arrives. Kevin looks up. From the car, his wife and son step out. They run toward him. For the first time after the disaster, the family reunites. They are all safe. Kevin's wife realizes her mistakes, and together they decide to live as a family again. Because after facing such a devastating disaster, they finally understand the true value of being together. And this is where the story of this film comes to an end.